Hello and welcome to the Tifo Football podcast. I'm Joe Devine, and today I'm delighted to be joined by JJ Ball.
Hello!
All right, how's it going? Yeah? Reuben Pinder's also here.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good.
And a fleshy meat bag in my presence, it's Sebastian Ruffle-neck-wearing Stafford-Bloor.
Hello, Joe Devine.
How's it going, okay?
It's going well.
Now, here's what we talked about on today's episode of the Tifo Football podcast. Now, instead of talking about the FA Cup, we got distracted by our favourite football kits, the best size collar, that's a Seb bit, and what I was wearing during Seb's childhood. Look out for that bit, it might surprise some of you. Now, with City rotating and still progressing to the FA Cup final, we turn our attention to the future of City's squad and possible new manager. We have a conversation about that. Because Seb is with us in person, we just start asking him questions like, what's it like in Germany? And that was quite an interesting conversation, wasn't it? We then round off the cup final and discuss the frustration of Chelsea playing closer to their potential post-Liam Rosenior being sacked. After the break, we force ourselves to talk about Arsenal as they trudge their way to another 3 points in the title race, and JJ was particularly enraged during that part.
Which bit again?
The Arsenal bit.
Oh,
The angriest I've ever seen you.
Well, I thought we could have done, I just wanted to give some energy, you know?
Right. Does that mean you didn't mean anything you said?
I mean, probably. I can change my opinion on it, and I say things I think, and then it makes people not like you online.
Right,
you know,
right.
And I don't like
I
that.
think
real
you might
life.
be in for a bout of that this week.
You think so?
People not liking you
It's
online.
possible.
But they sort of know where I'm coming from. Like, I'd like it if they. It's
I think
nice.
they're tired of it now.
My
aren't
dad
they?
supports Arsenal. It's fine.
Your dad supports Arsenal?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, you knew that.
Did I know that?
I didn't. No.
It was a longer time. The first.
Oh,
game-
that's because you're not really from Scotland. You're from London. I remember that now.
Oh,
Your
Dad's from
your dad's
London,
from
yeah.
Wood Green.
yeah,
and
that's
you
right,
were
yeah.
born here and
Yeah.
lived here.
Yeah,
And
but Wood
you've
Green is a
confected
Spurs area, but my dad used to do a paper
That's true.
round, and one of the lads in his round used to give him his season ticket when he was
Really?
a young boy, yeah.
So
he used to go
would
to
you
Highbury in the
say
stands.
you're as fond as Arsenal as you are of Newcastle?
And England.
The
You
first
love
game
England.
I ever seen in the Premier League, maybe I saw a reserve game in Scotland first, but the first proper professional game I ever saw
Yeah.
was Arsenal 0, Newcastle 1 at Highbury.
Really?
Yeah.
Explains
Wow.
a lot.
I went to Highbury,
How
saw
about
Dennis
that?
Bergkamp play.
Yeah.
Robbie Elliott scored a goal
That's very nice.
from a corner.
Really?
Yeah.
It was ever thus. How about that? Do you know my first game? Leicester, Norwich City, and I was sat in the front row and the ball came over and I handed it back to Dennis Wise and he
Nice.
scared the shit out
Yeah.
of me.
That's good. Front
He's
row,
very-
Were you
that's the
not
best
surely
seats.
bigger than him? Then?
No, I was very small.
Really?
Very small.
He's
yeah.
very small, Dennis Wise,
Yeah.
but
wearing
proportionally
my bin bag.
scary for a small man.
That's
Dennis
true.
Wise, very scary
Years
for a small
later,
man.
he came in
They
my
just-
pub that I was working in, and after
Did you
I
tell him that
served
story?
him, I said, "Oh, I handed the ball back to you at a game," and he went, "Oh yeah, did you?" And I said, "Yes, I'll leave you alone now, though."
But
please
at
enjoy
Carrow
a drink."
Road, the front row is quite low down, right?
Yeah.
So were you like handing it upwards?
Yes,
like that?
I was
Yeah.
looking. I actually don't know if we were at Carrow Road. Must have been at Carrow Road.
You could eat him in one gulp now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe it was
swallow
at
the whole.
Filbert Street.
Maybe it was.
Hmm.
Probably wasn't.
My first game was in 2001 at Selhurst Park, but it wasn't Crystal Palace. That we're ground
it?
sharing with Wimbledon FC,
Oh,
a now defunct football club.
right. And later that will come back.
But those
To
of us
haunt
born in
him.
85, we know that Wimbledon was a team.
Exactly.
Well, and now these guys are precursoring the Rondo, which we play. Can Seb defend his crown in person? We find out. This was an excellent edition of the game.
Great rondo.
And I just want to say, by the way, that Ruben's apparent saltiness about the Rondo doesn't give any spoilers away. It doesn't give any spoilers away. So stick around and watch that.
Ruben's
one.
very hard to beat at these games. He's too good at knowing things.
That gives some spoilers.
That's
away.
a spoiler.
Well, I mean, I'm very good at them.
You're exceptionally good at
Yeah.
going out first. After the Rondo, we discovered JJ's sources, most of his knowledge from listening to other people's conversations
Podcasts.
on trains. There you go.
They always do their podcast around me.
We move on to the relegation battle as there was a significant movement for those under a threat of the drop. And as we come to a close, we check back in with a thrilling title race in Scotland. Hearts are still on course, and we played Points Are Bad. There you go. So that was the whole show. And then we're back on Thursday with Colin Miller, John McKenzie, and Kai Kynak. We'll be reacting to the Champions League semi-finals first leg. There's a ring for analysis on Saturday too, and we'll be around doing a live stream on Sunday from about 9 p.m. UK time after the Spurs Aston Villa game. There you go. Did I miss anything, Steve?
No.
Okay, well, enjoy today's show. Well, where else to begin but with a blue FA Cup final. It was, of course, the two FA Cup semi-finals over the weekend, and it was decided that the 2026 FA Cup final will be Chelsea versus Manchester United. So all of the Blues. No, I said that wrong already, didn't I?
Yeah,
because it
it's
just
not
started the
United.
podcast.
Yeah.
It's Manchester City.
That's the one.
Manchester City.
Hence the blue final.
The blue final. Yeah, although Man United have played in blue before.
Yeah, which I've always found a little bit strange,
Have you?
given that their local rivals play in a shade of blue, to have a blue away
Yeah.
kit. But
Different blue. Different
Yeah.
It was a different blue, and also they did it at their peak, where it was almost sort of a funny insult, wasn't it? It's like, what? Who are you? Oh, you wear blue? I didn't even know you existed.
There's some nice blue kits
Yeah.
throughout their history.
I like the one that had the black stripes through it, the dark blue one that they had.
Oh, like when the one that
The one
they
that
wore when
Keno
Scholes
wore.
Scholes scored the volley against Bradford in that
Yeah.
kit. Yeah, nice.
That was a good kit. That one. What's your favourite kit, JJ?
I have a lot of favourite kits.
What's your one favourite kit?
Newcastle 96, 97,
Oh,
95,
yeah.
97
I
with
knew
the
that.
Newcastle Brown, yeah.
With the big brown ale.
Yeah, but I also like the Barcelona one, which is got the yellow trim. I love that one.
10-11. Yeah.
10-11, it's good,
Yeah.
yeah.
They didn't have a sponsor.
I really like the
They
Scotland one,
did.
this new one. Really like
UNICEF.
that. The
Yeah,
Curaçao
UNICEF.
away one I really like as well. The
Yeah.
new one they've got there. But there's so many kits. I have a lot. I have too many.
Seb?
I really like the old Michel Platini Juventus one with the massive collar.
Right.
And the Ariston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ariston
That's
sponsor.
because you come from a time in England where people used to wear ruffles around their neck.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And you needed a massive collar
You
to
had to.
accommodate it.
You had
Yeah.
to wear that at school.
A massive collar was actually like a status symbol back then.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
The bigger the collar, the better a person you were.
Who are you
really.
trying to separate yourself from?
You.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a collar.
The riffraff.
Yeah. My neck was already big enough without a
You
ruff.
didn't even have a shirt, as I
No,
remember.
but of
you
course-
just walked around, just a bin bag.
I was mostly nude for the beginning of
No,
my life.
I don't remember it that way. It was bin bag, and you were definitely clothed, just not in any kind of impressive way at all.
That's right. I was wearing a bin bag in your childhood.
But of course, when you wear a collar that big now, people stop you in the street and think you're Harry Hill. So.
That's it,
That's
and
true.
I do not care for that whatsoever. or they say you're either Harry Hill or John McKenzie, and neither is great for me. So
I saw my friend at the weekend who was saying he's been
A
watching a lot
friend?
of a friend.
you have a friend.
I have a friend, and he'd been watching a lot of old Harry Hill, and he said his favourite old Harry Hill joke was, my parents were weird. My dad was a very strange man. He said when I was younger, he used to make my mum dress up as a nurse, and then he made her go out to work as a nurse. That's a good joke. Anyway, what was I talking about? How
France 98, Brazil 94, good shirts.
now you're listing more shirts. Yeah.
Man City.
Have
But
you
of course-
seen the Heritage Germany ones, the current batch before the World Cup, plain white?
I
really
love
nice.
those.
The
Really
new
nice.
Germany one is also so good.
The
Is
away
it?
one is lovely.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
beautiful. And there's a Japan one that's amazing, and there's a Chile away one that's really. Oh, there's so many good
Yeah.
kits.
And
It's
then
The Germans know how to do shirts, I think.
They do.
Adidas know how to do shirts.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the key.
Which,
That's
of
the
course,
Germans.
But
No,
this,
but
this
it's-
is the
it's all-
last. It's the last Germany shirt that Adidas are making before
Yeah.
they switch
Really?
over to Nike.
They're not switching to Nike.
They are, yeah.
Are they?
Which
Yeah.
feels wrong.
it feels sort
doesn't
of traitorous.
It's like I think England being Nike still feels a bit weird. We
Mm.
really should be Umbro.
Sure.
Adidas have really kind of leaned into it being the last edition because they've created all these supplementary bits of kit for the World Cup, and every single one is a banger.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I
immaculate
agree, yeah.
collection.
Like what they do with Arsenal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's really, really good, and it's kind of that Nike. Are you sure? Question mark.
Hmm.
So we'll see.
How about that?
a
That's a
shame.
real like determining or like an indicator of globalization, isn't it? That I couldn't imagine a time when the German national team
It's a shame.
kit wasn't made by
A
Adidas.
real shame.
How about that? Well, anyway, we were talking about how Manchester United are not in the FA Cup final, but Manchester City are. And that's where they'll be meeting Chelsea. The Londoners, Chelsea, overcame Leeds United after City suffered a bit of a scare to march on beyond Southampton in the other last four tie. But will the ribbons, writes Steve, on the famous old trophy be royal or sky blue? Come May. We wait to find out. That's a bad one, Steve. That's a...
I don't mind it. I
I
don't
like
mind
the
it.
different types of blue.
Yeah.
Which of these games did you watch?
I watched both of them.
Right.
I had more fun looking at my, when social media gives you a memory saying a year ago today.
Mm.
I had more fun looking at the photos of Palace versus Villa from this fixture last season
Right.
than watching either of these games.
Sure.
Although when Southampton took the lead, that was really fun.
Little bit of fun.
Great finish.
Yeah.
Little bit of hope
Fantastic.
for like 3 minutes before.
One of those goals that sort of came out of nowhere, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It just sort of exploded off the foot.
And the way it was scored, it reminded me very much of Makeda against Villa,
Mm-hmm.
Kobe Mainu against Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
On the turn, that kind of like nestle, a real nestle.
Yeah.
So yeah, great finish from Finn Azaz. But then Doku's really horribly deflected goal just killed it 3 minutes later.
The nestle, an underrated part of a goal, isn't it?
Mm.
In fact, I think this is very clear with NBA, for example, that the swoosh, the whoosh, is an important part of
The aesthetic.
Nothing but net. The sound of that
I see
is lovely.
Yeah.
And the aesthetic is a very important part of it, and it's also a kind of part that people consciously enjoy. Whereas with football, I feel as though it's less often consciously described as part of the reason why. Usually it's like the distance that it was scored from, the speed that the ball was kicked. But when the ball hits the bar and then bounces down just behind the line, that's a lovely one.
I think depending on the ground, you can get really, really good noises. So
Depends on the net, doesn't it?
Yeah, so Dortmund's got a great net, sort of net rattle sound.
Right.
The
to it.
Haaland goal.
The Haaland goal
Clang,
against
clang,
PSG is
yeah.
really, really good. There's
Super
also
Tor.
exactly
The commentary. Yeah.
And Ajax is very good for this as well.
Right.
And Ryan Hunt, our great friend Ryan Hunt
Yeah.
from the Stadio podcast,
Yeah.
and Stadio, I suppose, industrial complex now is probably the right way to describe what they do. They just got all kinds of Stadio stuff. He says that it's about how close the netting is to either the advertising hoardings or the foot of the stand,
Right.
because it gives the noise nowhere to go. I'm kind of just making that up based on what I think I remember Ryan saying. So if any of that's wrong, it's probably
I
his
think
fault.
I remember Ryan saying that. Not that. No, I think
That's like a libel 101, that, isn't it? My God.
something got cut there because I said something inappropriate about a man that we know.
Something very unkind.
Very
about
unkind.
a friend of ours.
No, but I meant it as a joke. It's just a joke that we went too far for the setting that we were
You
in.
didn't know where to stop.
I didn't know where to stop.
That was the problem.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You know what ruins a good nestle?
What's that?
The cameras that they have on cranes now that peek through the net. You see the
Oh,
ball
yeah.
kind of nestle in the net, and then it bounces off the camera. And
Yeah.
you're like, why don't with the
You
ball's
want it to
trajectory,
roll
you know?
perfectly down to the floor, right?
Exactly,
And then
yeah.
be caught in the bunching at the
Yeah.
bottom.
But that was the best bit of that game until, from a quality point of view, until Nico Gonzalez scored an even better goal
Sure.
to win City the game. But the most interesting thing about this game for me was watching City put out a team in a cup semi-final where you go, oh yeah, he still plays for them. Ake, Stones, Kovacic still there.
Yeah.
Marmoush started. Foden got a start. Reinders, yeah.
The type of depth that you would have seen already had City had an injury crisis to the scale of Arsenal's, right?
Yeah. And Sam Lee wrote a piece on The Athletic about what happens to all of these players now, because Stones is leaving, Bernardo's leaving, but there's a lot of kind of players in a slightly awkward position for them with Reinders and Foden. It's what do you do with them? Reinders probably stays and adapts a bit better.
Marmoush, I put on
only
that
just
list as well.
arrived.
Yeah, he's on there.
Yeah.
I wonder if he just goes, I want to play some more football and goes
There's a
back
lot of
to
talk that
Germany or something.
that Marmoush might, or a lot of fan speculation that
Yeah.
Marmoush might just leave in the summer.
It's that eternal problem of trying to have a backup to a world-class number 9, right?
Yeah.
Spurs had it with Kane for years as well.
What happened to Reinders though? Because he was absolutely fantastic in the first few
Goal
games.
and assist on his first game this season.
Yeah.
And then he was in the starting 11 for a couple of months, maybe 3 or 4. And then Guardiola, I think Rodri came back and Guardiola just decided, I want Rodri and Bernardo to play as much as possible.
Right.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe there's an element of his game that he doesn't trust yet in the way that a lot of players take a year to adapt to Pep.
If Marmoush does leave next season, so he went out on loan, I think someone will get a great player. Just because when he first got to Eintracht Frankfurt,
Just don't let him take a penalty in a cup final,
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, you've made Seb really laugh there. That's nice.
it's the look on his face, and it's the whole combination of the turtleneck and the determination to get Palace into the conversation.
That's true, listeners.
Sorry.
Reuben is wearing a turtleneck today.
I am, yeah.
When he first got to Eintracht Frankfurt, he was a bit of a bit part player, arrived on a free transfer, and he had Randall Kolo-Muani ahead of him, and so wasn't really getting regular football. And he really struggled with that lack of continuity, the kind of in the team, not in the team, few minutes, substitute, didn't like it. And he's a confidence player and someone who needs to be on the pitch all the time. And so if he were to drop down, not a great level, but if he was to go from Manchester City to a Champions League competing side around sort of the top 4, top 6, I think if you got 38 games out of him, you get a really, really good return. So I think there's a deal there for someone.
Maybe if Villa win the Europa League and get into the Champions League, that would be a good fit.
That'd be a great fit. Yeah.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
Freddie Howe.
I don't know. It feels very uncertain. I'm not sure who the coach at Newcastle is going to be next season.
That's true.
Yeah.
Could be Omar Marmoush.
Probably not.
They already have 2 expensive forwards that they can't fit into the team. So
yeah, they do.
They'll get rid of those. Yeah.
I've asked you before what you think about the possibility of Kompany replacing Guardiola, because there's still all these rumours that he might leave this summer, and then Kompany's someone who often, again in speculation at least, gets his name referenced.
Yeah, I think it's asking Kompany to leave this Bayern team behind and this situation behind quite a lot. I mean, he's heading at the moment, recording this on Monday, heading for a treble. This team is kind of loaded. It's also got a whole load of young players coming through. Like Leonard Carl is the one that everyone's heard of. Wisdom Mike is a very, very good player.
Yeah.
is
There's
his first name Wisdom.
Wisdom Mike.
Great name.
Yeah. He's just had an operation, but he'll be back in a few months and he'll hopefully break through in the next couple of years. It's a team that you can imagine him doing something with over the next couple of years. At the same time, if you're going to replace Guardiola, do you want to be the Guardiola replacement, or do you want someone to go in there, flounder, take all the pelters, and then come and clean up? I think I want to be the second guy. Really.
Probably also to cement your because it's not that it's easy to win things with Bayern, but it is a lot easier to win with them than other places. So he does another year. When Guardiola does go, you get far more options. It makes more sense to transition them.
I also think there's a little bit of potential left in this Bayern side. I mean, we're a month or about 6 weeks away from the Champions League final. They could well be crowned the best team in Europe. And you're still saying there's maybe an extra 10% there through a little bit of transfer market activity in the summer, which will be not necessarily massive in Premier League terms, but it will be quite substantial. So let's see what he can do with them first. I would be amazed if he doesn't do it at least a couple of years.
You know how you live in Germany now?
Yes.
And before you lived in Germany, maybe you sort of thought about things in a different way. And now you live in Germany, you think about things in a different way.
Yeah.
Do you think, because when you said, I'd be surprised if he leaves this Bayern team, I think that's true. But also, because I live in England and I follow the Premier League, I go, well, yeah, but, and who cares, right? But you live in Germany and you're always saying to me, you couldn't imagine how big it is here because it's the scale of it when you live there is so much larger.
Yeah.
I don't think of them like a Man United, for example, in the way that Man United kind of dominated the culture of English football in the 2000s. But that's very much how you describe Bayern when you live in Germany.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that because it took me moving to Germany to realize it. You go there and you realize everybody knows about the dominance on the pitch, but you realize the media dominance. So if you I think I've said this before, if you aggregated the media focus of Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool in England, that's what Bayern is, because Bayern are the main attraction.
Yeah,
and
they are the top four.
Well, they are the top four, but they're also they occupy a really interesting place because on the one hand, a lot of people resent Bayern naturally because they've been so successful. And so you have a very antagonistic relationship with the German population. At the same time, what's been interesting is ahead of the Real Madrid games, you saw a few well-wishers in a kind of representative way.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of people that wanted to see Bayern get beaten by Real Madrid and will want PSG to go through. But I think, it's not as it would be in England. So there's almost there's a quite interesting dynamic. And also, when you've spent time in Munich or Bavaria as a whole, you realize, firstly, the role Bayern play in their community, but also how big they are internationally. I remember I went to cover Tottenham's tour in South Korea when they played a friendly in Seoul against Bayern. Spurs turn up with Son Heung-min, so pretty much the most famous man in the whole of South Korea at the time, and still is, I guess. Bayern were vastly more popular, and that preceded Kim Min-jae being there. He helps, of course, because he's a very big deal in South Korea, big international player. They are insanely popular in Asia, in particular, and an enormous football club.
They sell the most shirts, don't they?
Yes, they. That statistic is a few years old because we put that into a Tifo video which you narrated. Well remembered.
I remember that.
Well remembered.
I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
I always find this stuff with Bayern really interesting because, replace them with, in Scotland, you've got Celtic and Rangers, who everyone would support, so all the kids would support them. And if you don't, it's deeply frustrating.
Yeah.
But it's just like glory hunters, just following them. I get it, and they say, "Oh, my dad supports them," but often they don't.
Sure.
So that's what happens. And I wondered whether, like in Germany, that must be similar. But when Leverkusen won, it kind of helps them a bit because then they suddenly do have a vulnerability. You know how you want like even the bad guys to have a vulnerability? It makes them more human.
Mhm.
That's what you want.
I think Leverkusen was interesting because, yes, they disrupted the monopoly, but Leverkusen are not what most Germans would describe as being a traditional Verein. They're
Sure.
a works team. They have an exemption from the 50+1 rule. And also in Germany, you don't see Bayern shirts in other parts of the country, really. I mean, you see the occasional kid with a Bayern shirt in Hamburg, right up in the north.
Right.
But football is so regional and so localized. And that idea of being around your local club is so entrenched.
Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you just don't see it.
That's
Like
good. I like that. I'm surprised though.
I was on my way to the station to get my flight over yesterday, and I walked past someone who's wearing a Cologne shirt, and that was even a little bit confronting.
Right.
Affronting even. I was just like, what?
You went over to him and you said, "Get the out of here! You're not welcome here."
Yeah, just physically assaulted him. Yeah, I just as you'd expect. But it is interesting. It's not like I haven't really scratched the surface of Germany.
Sure.
It's a very, very large country. So these are kind of my still initial impressions after a few years. But
I wonder
Yeah.
if it's different in like when we were growing up as well, because I'm thinking now hardly saw any Aberdeen tops really, but now whenever I go back, I see kids wearing Aberdeen tops. But like where I live in northeast London, where the hell it is, East London, there's like a football cage in front of my flats, and there's all kids playing. They always have Liverpool. They've always
Yeah.
got Liverpool, Arsenal.
Yeah.
And
You forget though that when
Barcelona.
you were younger, everyone had to wear those oil safety shirts in Aberdeen.
That's
because,
true.
because of the environment. At
well,
the
mostly
time.
it was orange high-vis drilling.
And that's
So
what,
they
that's
could
what
have
that
been
Scotland
wearing-
shirt is an homage to.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's right.
They could have been wearing the Aberdeen shirts underneath their protective gear.
I wasn't, but I think a
No.
lot of those kids probably were, yeah, as instructed. And they wore hard hats too.
They had to.
You
and
know,
they
even
knew
when they
where
were
all the
walking
oil
outside.
was.
Yeah.
you know, we call Bayern Munich.
Mm-hmm.
Bayern is the word for Bavaria, right? That's
Right.
that's the German word for Bavaria, but
Yeah.
obviously the German word for Munich is München. So
Right.
the name that we use for that club is half German, half English.
Well, that's interesting.
So we should call them
Is that
Bavaria
would
Munich.
be, would be the same as like calling
Correct?
Manchester United? It would be Greater Manchester United.
Pretty much.
I suppose the difficulty is that like colloquially, the Germans refer to Bayern as FC Bayern.
yeah.
Like you do hear FC Bayern München in the stadium.
Right.
But it's less common, so it's kind of forgivable that English people would just put Munich on the
Right.
end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one other thing about regionality in German football, actually, because obviously, I'm sure we'll talk about Spurs at some point, but I was contemplating the other day what would happen to Spurs' attendance were they to go down to the Championship. And I live in Hamburg, and obviously HSV spent 7 years down in the Zweite Bundesliga.
Mm-hmm.
And their final season, they were averaging 57,000 people in their stadium in the second division, which I think if that happened in England, like you probably wouldn't get, because a lot of the younger guys would, or, you know, families, they would migrate towards bigger clubs elsewhere.
Sure, yeah.
Whereas it's kind of, you know, just go to your local club, which is a nice thing, I think.
Yeah. Well, this conversation has reminded me of the conversation around people's displeasure with Arsenal this season, and it wasn't an original observation, so it doesn't matter that much. But I wish I could remember the name of the person whose tweets I'd read on this because they expressed it very well.
John McKenzie.
And it wasn't John McKenzie. No, he expresses himself very poorly on Twitter, I find. No, it
He
was
very much does, actually.
it was a journalist who was talking about the idea of, or trying to answer the question of why people seem to hate Arsenal so much, and as opposed to Manchester
It was
City.
Sid. It was Sid Lowe, no?
Yes, it was Sid Lowe, and that's it. So I don't think the observation is necessarily an original one. I've heard a lot of people say that before, but it was very, very well expressed by Sid Lowe in these series of tweets. Some of which we can attribute to him, some of which I'm sure I'll mess up whatever he was saying. But the sentiment essentially is that he thinks the reason that people would prefer Manchester City to win to Arsenal, despite the fact that there are kind of infrastructural elements to Manchester City's success that are perhaps more objectively difficult for groups of football fans to accept, is because it feels less real as a result of that. Because the success, it's very easy for you as a fan to just say, well, obviously they won because they've spent this money, or they have these owners, or they have this infrastructural success.
It became the default.
They've become the default. Whereas if you're a fan of another team and then Arsenal win, it feels more like your team has failed than it does if Manchester City
you also
win.
doesn't really come across many Man City fans in
Yeah.
real life, do you? Even when I was living in England
Sure.
or London, I didn't. You don't come across them at least not as often as you do. Like you see a million Steves every day,
Every day.
like on social media,
Every day.
they're banging away.
There's so many.
It's a very visible, prominent fan base, and
Yeah.
so it's easier to
I see Steve everywhere I go.
everywhere you go.
I think it might be a sort of trauma issue, though, rather than.
You're the one with the trauma.
I do wonder if that's more pronounced in London though, because there's so many Arsenal fans.
Probably.
That's
Like I was
true.
saying last time I was on, like my Palace mates want City to win the league because there are loads
Yeah.
of South London-based Arsenal fans that they resent.
But there's Manchester United fans everywhere, right?
Yeah,
You know, you could use
Liverpool.
that team as an example. Liverpool fans everywhere.
I think
as
I remember
well.
a similar attitude when Liverpool won
the first time,
Premier
not
League
last
title.
season, but
yeah,
definitely
the
the first
first
time,
title
yeah.
after the
In
decades
COVID.
without.
It
yeah,
was
during
like,
COVID.
oh, they'll be insufferable. That
and it's
kind
like
of thing.
it's not. It's just different.
Yeah.
And you can't wave it away initially as you would with a Man City title victory.
Sure.
So
Well,
Oh.
then it's interesting because all the kids wear Man City tops now. So
Mhm.
my friends' children have like Haaland shirts and that.
Right.
So that'll change in the future because
Yeah.
they've grown up supporting them if they stick with it.
Do you know the most depressing example of that I saw once? I went to Poland for a wedding. I was in Gdansk and I saw a kid with an Al Nassr shirt on. I was like, fuck's sake, that's rubbish, isn't it?
I love
Did he have a
how
name- did he have a
Ruben's
name
sort
on the
of-
Yeah,
shirt?
Ronaldo, obviously.
Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a Ronaldo.
That's
shirt.
why, yeah.
Got it,
this
got it.
roving proper football man, like wandering across Europe, expressing his displeasure at other people's supporting habits. Brilliant.
Look, all I want to know
I'm all
is
for it.
how many Saudi games has that kid watched? You know, not many.
Did you confront him? I should hope so.
Yeah,
You
just
get
like
that
you did
kid,
with
Ruben.
the Cologne shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah.
get that child. Anyway, who's going to win the FA Cup final? Is it Man City?
Probably, but
Man
it's
City.
the kind of
Hopefully,
exact
because
thing that
that's
Chelsea
the
would win.
least.
Because that's what it'd be perfect for Chelsea to have Callum McFarland win an FA Cup. Do you know? And then you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Sure.
what a great manager! He won an FA Cup.
They've
They
been to
sort of-
loads of finals in recent years and lost a lot of them.
That's true.
When was the last time they won the FA Cup? I think it was when Hazard was there in like 2018, 19.
Well, they beat City in the Champions League final, of course.
that was
Didn't
the
they?
last. That was the last time they
Just
beat
before-
City.
Right.
Was that just before COVID?
No, it was after. It was 2021.
2021.
Wow.
That was the last time they beat City.
Really?
Yeah,
Good lord.
but since then they've lost like 3 FA Cup finals to Leicester and Liverpool, and
They
maybe
were
Liverpool.
improved, I thought, against Leeds, but they were still kind of shit. You watched that game a little bit,
I
didn't
sure
you?
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was a lot better than the Brighton game.
Sure.
I think.
As in,
kind
they
of-
didn't concede any goals. That
Well,
was
they
good.
didn't concede any goals and they didn't lose and they didn't have to sack their manager afterwards. So
Yeah.
on all 3 of those points, it was an improvement.
Yeah.
But also, I think beyond the result of the Brighton game, I was shocked by it's a bit of a proper football mannerism I'm about to use.
No, go on.
They lost so many of the battles. It
Right.
was so
Yeah.
meek
In the
against
Brighton game.
Yeah, like I'm not smart enough to explain the
Anything.
tactical shape
Oh,
or the deficiencies or anything at
Yeah,
all.
thank you.
What I did notice was the lack of competition in nearly every phase of the game, and that was
Yeah.
really depressing.
Did you think it looked? I know I said this we spoke to John about this on Thursday's podcast, but when I watched them against Leeds on Sunday, I
Yeah.
thought a little bit. You don't want to say it, but it looked a little bit like they'd picked their tools back up.
That's I was on Totally last night. We said exactly the same thing.
Right.
I was a little disappointed because
Yeah.
I know people had their fun with Liam Rosenior, but I think he seems like a nice guy. He's certainly really well regarded as a technical coach. And it was just a bit disappointing to watch players so obviously down the tools. And then, when the big occasion comes, which is really, in that situation, I always imagine it's a little bit more about the player's ego than it is about the club because you want the moment, right? It's like when all of a sudden you find a hapless team performing really well in the Champions League,
Yeah.
just out of nowhere. It's that because the music and the occasion and the floodlights, all that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a little bit bittersweet, but and also if you were a Chelsea fan traveling down to Brighton, not the easiest journey from London, and you have that awkward little bit from the central station out to the stadium, which is a nightmare and it's very, very tricky. I think you'd be a little bit disappointed.
Sure.
Feel a little shortchanged. I mean, you make up for it with the performance in a semi-final, but suspicious.
All right, let's have a break then, and when we come back, we will discuss Arsenal, and then we'll do a rondo. Yeah. Okay.
Rondo time.
Arsenal won 0 Newcastle United in the least surprising result of all time. Right, Steve, a nervy Arsenal regained top place in the Premier League table with a 1-0 win over Newcastle United. Eberechi Eze's 9th-minute strike gave Arsenal a positive early start, but they did not capitalise on it. Steve, you've written a lot of copy for this Arsenal game. Is it possible that you are emotionally invested?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, fine.
Early start's a bit of a tautology as well, isn't it?
Oh, here we go. It ends with, I'm genuinely not sure I can do this for another month. Wait, sorry. This is the script, not my personal diary.
Can I ask Steve Hankey a question?
Of course.
Steve, how did you feel at the end of that game against Manchester City? Like, I want you to describe sort of your attitude towards the title, your attitude towards the performance itself. How did you feel? How was Steve?
Wait, can I predict what he's going to say?
Go on.
Do a Steve
he's gonna
Hankey
go-
voice.
he's
No,
gonna
no,
go-
no. You're a man of great
Yeah,
impressions.
you're good at
I
impersonations.
don't know.
You're
if I can do a
absolutely
Steve.
outstanding.
Wow. No, I don't know. I don't know what that was.
Try it again.
That's your job.
Just try it. Just push through.
Yeah.
It's fine. We're all here for you.
What he's going to say is, well, despite the fact that we lost, I thought the performance was really encouraging and actually made me more confident that we're going to win the title. That's what he's going to say.
That was very good.
Is that true, Steve?
I did think the performance was good. However, what I genuinely did, I was very glad I wasn't on the live stream. I thought Kaya held himself incredibly stoically because I went for a drive and I did.
I went for a cry.
Well, no, I did. I did do like a
Why
sort
not
of
both?
primal scream
In the car. Did you?
I shouted like "Fuck!"
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you
But
imagine
anyway,
if you were driving past him at that time and you looked in and you saw that happen?
I did genuinely think as I was leaving my village, I really hope someone didn't see that.
To be honest, it's, I feel surprised in the moment, but I'm actually not that surprised that Steve's screaming at himself in his own car. It seems about right, doesn't it? Who wants to do a rondo?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Here is the category of today's rondo. This is submitted to the Tifo Discord channel, which you can join by clicking the link in the description, by the way, or the show notes. This was from JTip12. JTip12. Teams that have been in the Premier League but aren't currently in the Premier League. There's 30 of them available, and this precursors a little chat about relegation that we're going to have after the rondo. Now, while you guys start to think about who those teams might be, I will tell the listeners, here's how the rondo works. I give these guys that category, and then we go round in a circle. They give me correct answers. If they give me an incorrect answer, they are immediately ejected from the rondo. If they wait too long, a time length that I don't like, they are ejected from the rondo. The last person standing is named the Rondo Del Rey. Steve, who's currently the Rondo Del Rey?
They are sitting in the studio.
Is it Seb? Seb, you are right. You were the remote Rondo Del Rey, and now you're here in the yeah, you've come to defend your chat. Okay, here we go. Right, fine. So let's begin with you then, because you are the defending
Rondo
champion.
Del Remote.
That's right, the Rondo Del Remote. Please name for me a team that is has been in the Premier League but isn't currently in the Premier League.
Derby County.
That is correct, Reuben.
Ipswich Town.
That is correct, JJ.
Coventry.
Yes.
Swindon.
Yes.
Southampton.
Sorry, I don't know why it took me so long to find them. Yeah. Southampton also. Yeah, true. JJ.
Bradford.
Bradford. Yes.
Luton.
Yes.
Norwich.
Of course.
Nice.
West Bromwich Albion.
That is true, JJ.
Leicester City.
Oh, that's very true. League One now, of course.
Yeah.
Reuben.
Middlesbrough.
Middlesbrough counts, JJ.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, that's true. Seb.
Sheffield United.
Of course, that was always going to happen. Oh, he's slow.
Charlton Athletic.
Nice.
Charlton Athletic count, yeah,
That's
JJ.
Preston.
Preston.
Were they not?
No.
Who am I thinking of then?
I don't
it
know.
could be any of the other available teams. But Preston are an incorrect answer, and therefore you are
Are you f***ing kidding?
ejected. You're ejected from the rondo.
I wonder if that confusion comes from the fact that David Beckham went on loan there.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Who is it I'm thinking of?
Well, I don't know. We'll find out at the end of the game. We don't want to influence. Either
You
of the
keep playing the
continuing-
game. You play
Okay.
it.
Seb, there's a JJ. He's not that great at the rondo.
He's not.
He
he's
doesn't
not
suit
happy.
his
Look at
skill
his little
set.
face. It's all crumpled.
Yeah,
and
he's
unhappy.
upset.
How have I done
Okay.
that again, though?
You, who have you got?
Swansea City.
Swansea City. Yes, that's correct. Reuben.
Cardiff City.
Cardiff City, of course, correct.
Birmingham City.
Birmingham City. Yes. Any other cities?
Probably.
There's one more city left.
This is getting tough now.
Dun, 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 dun. There's still 13 teams available, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a lot of them. Interesting, they're all clustered around certain areas of the alphabet.
Mm.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't believe. I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, he's taken a bit too long.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2,
Looking around the Midlands.
1. Say a team. Say a team. Go. Say any team.
Barnsley.
He's got it. He's got it. It's
Nice.
incredible.
That's very
I
Okay.
was going up a map in my head. And I was like, Yorkshire.
Oldham Athletic.
Oldham Athletic.
That's who I thought. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, they're the same as Preston.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
That's what I meant, though.
Now, Reuben,
Hull.
Hull City. That was the final city.
I'm back.
That's very nice.
Back to you, Seb.
Ooh, I don't know if I've got another one.
Oh, it's getting hard now. It's getting hard.
It's a lot easier now. I can see them all.
Yeah, now you can see them.
Um,
Oh my God! Listen, you've got to defend that title.
I know.
Seb.
I feel that. I feel the pressure now.
I've got another one as well.
Do you?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Just to crank up the
Wow.
pressure.
I've not really been listening, but there's a really good one I think hasn't been said yet.
We're going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Say a team. Say any team.
Wimbledon.
Say a team. Wimbledon. Yep. There you go. It works every time. It works every time. Okay, back to you.
I mean, VAR on that, but okay.
Oh, yeah, they count.
Yeah.
What?
Well, it was
Well, you mean-
Wimbledon.
do
It
you
was
mean
Wimbledon FC. Which club are you referring to? You know?
Wimbledon. There is only one Wimbledon.
There's only one
There's
Wimbledon.
only one Wimbledon.
Yeah, I know. I'm from the area, but
But then you should know. Like no, but there's a in
Vinnie
Premier League-
Jones.
Yeah, exactly.
That
John
counts.
Fashanu.
That
Okay.
counts.
Reading.
Reading counts also.
That's really
Okay. Seb, we're back to you now. There are still 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams you could get.
Watford.
Watford are a correct answer, Reuben.
Wigan.
Wigan was the other W team left.
Nice,
Okay,
nice,
that was the
nice.
W cluster. That's all done now. This is so competitive.
Bolton Wanderers.
Bolton Wanderers, they count.
Stoke.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Did you say Stoke?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's really,
Stoke
really
count
good.
also.
Do you know why? Because Stoke relegated Bolton.
Right. There are
in
only
2012, I think. And that.
Okay.
4 remaining correct answers. And if it helps you, I can tell you that you know all of them.
Yeah.
You do that every time. This makes it worse. Okay.
I've got 2 in my head.
You've got 2 of the 4.
I can't believe I drew a blank
Oh my
earlier and just.
God.
survived.
jeez.
Yeah.
I don't have any in my head.
Well, you're going to need to get one, Seb, in
no,
5,
I don't think
4,
it's gonna.
3, 2,
No.
1.
I give
Say a
up.
team. Say any team. Say a
No,
team.
I
Say a
don't-
team.
I-
Say a team. Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich. Say Bayern Munich. Say Bayern Munich. Say the word Bayern Munich.
No.
Say the team Bayern Munich.
No, I refuse.
Okay, he won't say it. He's out of the game. Right, Reuben?
The Lancashire Derby. You got Blackburn Rovers and
Ah.
Burnley.
Yeah, no, well, Burnley are currently in the Premier League.
Well, I said Blackburn first, didn't I?
You
And-
did, you did, but he
Controversial!
also,
No.
he tried to give 2 answers out of, what would you call that? Braggadociousness?
Yeah.
Braggadociousness?
Braggadocious,
However,
yeah.
I don't know.
If you look at the order of the game,
Oh,
I win
mate.
anyway.
It's
I
like we take a
don't know.
penalty and it hits off your boot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it go back in the net or not? Because
Was
you
there a
said a
2
team that
touch?
was true and then you said another
I
one.
said Blackburn first.
No, but you didn't, because what you said first was the Lancashire Derby, as though
Yeah.
you were submitting both teams. I don't know what to do about this,
Oh,
guys.
come on.
I think
I don't know what to do about this.
Considering the whole AFC Wimbledon MK Dons part of this game,
Yeah,
as
he
well,
said a club
I
that
don't
doesn't
know.
exist anymore.
I think we give it Reuben.
I think, Steve, you're a very kind supply teacher. I think we need one more correct answer
Oh,
from Reuben
come on.
in
No,
order
I'm fine
to
with
in
that.
order
I'm fine
to
with that.
name him. No,
No.
it's not about you. It's about the sanctity of the game.
So Seb said Wimbledon
That's
without
true.
specifying which club he
Listen,
meant.
you can. You know,
I
have you,
then
have you
said
seen any of the
Blackburn
referee
Rovers.
videos that you've got currently, where the players
Yeah,
come up to the
player cam,
referee
yeah,
and
yeah.
they start talking, and the referee says, "Just go away." Yeah,
That's
you
what
can
you're
you
doing
can
now.
argue with me if you want, or you can give me one more correct team. Would you like to give me one more correct team?
I would
Do you
love
want
to.
Do you want to be Rondo Del
I
Rey?
would love to. Yeah.
Okay, one more team. One more team. Here we go.
Queen's Park Rangers.
Hey, you did it!
There we go.
Very good.
That's very good.
Finally.
There we go. It's okay. He's Rondo Del Rey.
That was a great
Congratulations.
rondo. That was a great rondo.
The 2 teams we didn't say.
Preston.
No, we said them.
Burnley.
Portsmouth. Could have had Portsmouth, and you
Yeah.
could have had Huddersfield Town.
Oh,
As
do you
well.
know,
I
I
would
thought,
never have thought that.
I thought of them before we started, and then they just slipped out.
And then they slipped out Huddersfield Town. That's what happened. They slipped out of the Premier League, never came back.
And who
There
was that
we
I was
go.
thinking of? Oldham.
Yeah,
I was thinking of.
Huddersfield's first ever game in the Premier League was against Palace in 17-18 when we had Frank de Boer, and we lost 3-0. And I stupidly, kindly bought my Huddersfield supporting friend from uni a ticket in the home end, and we were right next to the away fans. So he was like close enough to his own people to have fun, like mouthing across the barrier to them, going, "I'm a town fan," and I was just there like wanting to die. So yeah, good fun.
That's good fun. Okay, right, there we go. Well, that was a rondo inspired by the relegation battle. The relegation battle had some pretty interesting movements over the weekend, starting with otherwise known as the Joe Devine lunch wager derby, West Ham United versus Everton. I didn't know who to support in this game, so I just didn't watch it. But West Ham won 2-1. They beat Everton. They secured a dramatic late win over Everton, right, Steve? It keeps West Ham outside of the relegation zone, which means there are 4 games to go before I potentially get a delicious free lunch. Yes, that's right, Steve. For Everton, of course, their second successive defeat in the league leaves them sitting 11th in the table, which is bad news for my other lunch wager with John McKenzie.
It's a win-win though for you in this game, in that sense.
In a sense, I mean, if I get the free West Ham lunch, then I will. But then Everton finish 11th or below. I'll be paying the lunch on. I might as well get my friend, the West Ham lunch wager friend, to just buy John lunch, and then I'm out of it completely. Which is actually not a bad option, to be honest. There you go. Much like the delicate balance that keeps life thriving on this planet, right, Steve? My lunch wagers perch on a delicate equilibrium. Yeah.
It's been a long season, Seb.
B minus to verbose.
Something should be cut.
A little bit sick.
You said lunch there, but he wrote luncheon, which makes that even worse.
You caught up with this one, didn't you, JJ?
Yeah, I caught up with it. I watched it on double speed.
What did you notice when you were watching it on double speed?
Well, I'd first seen the highlights, so I knew it was happening and what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a lot of West Ham games, is they win it if they take the lead first, even though Everton equalised later. It's the whole Nuno at Nottingham Forest thing.
Right.
Where once they take the lead, then they can often go into the way they want to play and hit them on the break. But it took a last-minute winner. Callum Wilson finishes off to keep them above the relegation zone.
Not the first time he's done that season. This season.
Likes doing that,
I think, obviously, like them getting the late winner is good news for West Ham, but for a couple of reasons, right? Like, first of all, their next 3 games, away at Brentford, home to Arsenal, and then they've got a third, which is a little bit of a tricky one.
My lunch.
I've forgotten who it is. Newcastle.
Oh my god! Are they at home or away? Do you know?
That's away. But my I remember when the equaliser went in, there was a lot of discontent from the West Ham fans and complaints about play style and the way they've been a little bit negative after taking the lead. So without that Wilson goal, you go into that run of games, which looks kind of terrifying, right?
Yeah.
Because you could imagine, not taking too many points from that, but also kind of changes the mood because no disrespect to Reuben's Eagles, but it felt like they missed an opportunity on Monday night against a Palace team that still are going for Europe, but have bigger fish to fry on their horizon.
Terrible game.
A terrible game.
But also, like Palace's priorities reflected in the lineup, the rotation. Yeah, West Ham should have definitely.
It was there for the taking, and they kind of missed the chance. And then, what was going on at Spurs? With the Spurs game, they could have ended the weekend in the relegation zone, which would have been. That's a real mood changer ahead of these last.
And that's because Wolves 0-1 Tottenham Hotspur. Mm-hmm. This was the other game for the first time in 2026, right, Steve? We can say that Spurs have won a game in the Premier League.
Was that as moved on from West Ham Everton now?
Well, no, we're going to talk about them together.
Oh, I see.
You look a lot like a disgruntled man.
Oh, you said can you learn all the game?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah. Tell us what else.
Let's do spoilers.
No. I'd love to hear some really high podcast quality references to this game. Let's do some analysis.
Well, that's actually interesting because
what do you got?
I listened to some podcasts. Without my will on the.
Without your will.
No, well, there's loads of West Ham fans who are on the way to the game. I was on the train with them, so I was listening to all their podcasts that they were doing.
As in you were listening to their conversations.
Well, it's what most this is podcasts. They're listening to what they're doing. Is like, what do you think of this player? And you're like, well, I think this player was I got that for like half an hour on a train.
They did that before podcasts as well.
It's called conversations, and that's what podcasts were meant to. Well, they've turned into radio shows. It's a whole thing. Now, what they said, I gathered mostly, was that they like Mateus Fernandes,
right? That
midfielder who I think they got from Southampton. I think he's really good. He stands out quite a lot in various data things that I've looked at.
John did a video on him recently, I think.
He's a good. I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Did he? Oh,
Yeah.
I missed that. Yeah, really good. But the game very even. Could have gone either way. It's kind of there's not much analysis to do. It's kind of pretty much honestly.
Got it. Okay,
They could have been anyway.
so either listen to the Tifo podcast or just stand on a train in East London and listen to West Ham
Well,
fans
they
say they
know.
like their player.
Fans know a lot more than who knows the club better than the fans.
Roshane Thomas wrote in The Athletic that his game was defined 3 headers that could save West Ham
Yeah.
season or whatever. And
Good
it was the Souček goal.
Yeah, corner goal, header. Love
Um,
those.
Souček clearance off the line.
Which also hits the bar as
Yeah,
well.
he heads it onto the bar. It's kind of like coincidental, but obviously he had to be there.
Yeah.
And then Bowen's assist for Wilson's goal was also a knockdown header.
Jared Bowen has been absolutely
He should be
brilliant
England's
in Europe.
starting right winger. He's very
I-
good.
Over
He might
Saka?
well be.
You think he should start over Saka?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Like I think makes things happen. Obviously Saka's amazing, but I think Bowen makes things happen.
Depends on fitness.
Yeah.
I think Saka makes things happen as well, though, doesn't he?
I think
yeah.
Saka's amazing and should start if he's fit, but I fear that he won't be fit, in which case,
Yeah.
if it's a 60% fit Saka or Bowen, then just play Bowen.
The weird
Sure.
thing I have with Saka is that I think he's like, it's hard to caveat everything we're always saying. He's obviously amazing. Like, he's a really good footballer, but in the same way I used to watch Raul play for Real Madrid, he's like obviously an amazing footballer, but I'd rather have had someone else because I think they do more stuff. Like, more things happen when
Yeah,
they're there.
that's what I
Does that make sense?
That's a cold take on Raul. That's
Well, but obviously Raul scored lots and lots of goals.
he
but-
was a very stylish player too.
Yeah,
He
but they
was-
didn't win as much, so they got like Benzema did more than Raul, I think.
well, eventually, yeah, because he was playing on a better side.
Well,
But-
maybe you could say that. Arguably, maybe.
Okay, I think you've done Raul dirty.
I
there
think
a little
Raul
bit,
should
but-
play the right wing for England.
listen, JJ was on a train in Madrid in
Yeah.
1999.
All my
and he heard that.
opinions. I just
He
repeat
ride
what
around
I
the
hear people say on
trains.
trains. Yeah.
Have you ever seen highlights from Raul's time with Schalke?
Yeah, that
No.
that was it an assist?
There's
The back heel
there's
assist.
a couple of moments,
Yeah.
and then there's a little sort of roulette around the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
It's just this really strange, like, confluence of factors. You've got Raul, one of the great players of his generation. Schalke, who were a massive club back then, but also Gelsenkirchen is not a very Raul-y environment. It's just a sort of post-industrial town. And then just produces a season for the ages, which
Got
ends
it.
with that. Do you remember the Man United semi-final when Manuel Neuer played really, really well?
Mm.
On their
Oh,
run
yes,
to
I
the, on
remember
the
that
run,
one.
Man United's run to the final.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it
Was that so? Would that have been 09? No, 10-11?
Oh, God, I feel old.
That United lost that final to Barcelona
I think that's the
at
one,
Wembley.
yeah.
So 10-11.
Or-
See,
or-
Raul
or
doesn't feel like a
8-9.
player, or 8-9, yeah,
Yeah.
one of the two.
Mm.
Raul doesn't feel like a player who should have been playing that late. In my head, he's from a completely different era.
Mine
Yeah, I
too.
mean, it was kind of a last
something
act. It was
like
great.
Beckham at PSG.
Yeah.
It's always good, though, when it emerges why Seb is defending a player because they spent one season in Germany. So he knows all about them now. Listen, on this relegation battle, Spurs, they finished the weekend, despite winning, still in the relegation zone, 34 points, only 2 behind West Ham.
Yeah.
The fixtures are tough for both teams. They're really tough. So you just mentioned them for West Ham.
Yeah.
Away at Brentford, at home to Arsenal, away at Newcastle, at home to Leeds on the final day of the season, who will probably, I mean, presumably are safe already.
I think probably
So,
safe already, yeah.
Maybe they'll be a bit more relaxed by then. Spurs are away to Villa on Sunday, home to Leeds, away to Chelsea, home to Everton. Also really hard fixtures.
And that Chelsea game will now have to be moved to midweek because Chelsea got to the cup
Yeah,
final.
it'll
Right,
be- I
right.
think it's a few days before the cup
Yeah.
final.
Right.
Yeah.
So where are we at with 2 points difference? Who do we think is going down?
I don't know, but I was encouraged by what I saw from Spurs because they won.
Mhm.
There was a bit of resilience. There was honesty in the performance, which hasn't always been the case this season. Antonin Kinski played very, very well in goal, which is an amazing thing, actually, just in his personal story, because he recovers from that moment in Madrid where he gets taken off and humiliated. And it's been really excellent in the 3 games he's played in the league since. Good against Sunderland, good against Brighton, good again against Wolves, that very late save from the free kick. At this moment, it's just about, like, you just get over the line. Just get over the line. And also, it doesn't really serve Spurs to worry about what West Ham are doing. Focus on your games. Focus on the fact that Villa have got that game between their 2 semi-finals against Nottingham Forest in the Europa League, which is kind of convenient and helpful. Just control what you can control. And I don't know. I'm choosing to be positive.
Okay.
That's because I think you can will your way into relegation, because a lot of Spurs fans are talking about the injuries, which are absurd. Javi Simons is gone for the season. Will now
Yep.
miss the World Cup. ACL rupture.
Oh, is that
unfortunately.
what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
done.
no.
He's done. Which is like 3 ACL ruptures in a single season,
Yeah.
and a patella injury for Kulusevski left over from last. So
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. There's also been some refereeing issues, which a lot of people have focused on. All the problems that have been caused by the executives' decision making this season, which has been quite faffy, slow, and not very good.
It's funny to think that it was this season that Daniel Levy left.
Yeah.
That feels like a really long time ago.
But the point is, right, is that none of that really matters at the moment because it doesn't.
They got
it
4
doesn't-
cup finals, Seb.
Four Super Bowls, as Johnny Infantino would say.
They
probably.
got 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think they're a hopeless case. I think last weekend was just about winning, and then I think that was the game that I expected West Ham to win. So let's see.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think they're quite in the relegation mix, but I would worry about Newcastle if there were an extra few games in this season. Something's wrong there.
They're 8 points clear of Spurs.
They'll
so
be
probably
fine.
Yeah.
But like if there was another month this season,
Sure.
I think they would be in it too.
We just did a show on the FC channel
okay.
this weekend where Alex Barker and Liam Tharm went through why Newcastle have fallen off so bad. 9 places they dropped. It's a lot of
bad.
stale squad,
Well,
stuff like that.
Forest hammered Sunderland 5-0 as
did.
well over the weekend, and they're only
I
3
saw
points
that.
behind
Yeah.
Newcastle in the league.
I thought Forest played really well against Sunderland. I know the
Yeah.
game was a bit of an anomaly on Friday night because you don't find yourself 4-0 up away from home at half time. But they deserved it. They had a little bit of luck, but they played with a kind of, not quite swagger, but certainly confidence, conviction that you don't often find from a team that's in that situation.
Yeah.
And like, unlike, I was worried about them having to go into the Villa semi-final with their Premier League future uncertain. But it looks like they've been buoyed by it. They're being kind of energized by the opportunity to get to a European final eventually, and that reflected in the way they played. Because that's an awkward game, Sunderland away, because they're not done either. Prior to this weekend, they had sort of outside European hopes, and they blew them away. They were excellent.
I was really impressed by Forest, and it made me think: how has this team struggled so badly that they've needed 4 managers across the season? Like when you think about how
that group of players, right?
How chaotic their season's been, but then you look at their 11 and you're like, how have they struggled? Like it's a good team.
really
But
strong
you kind of say that for every team involved in the relegation mix.
Yeah, you can say about
There've been
Spurs
injuries
and
and all sorts of things, but you look at the players at West Ham, look at the players at Spurs, Forest.
everyone's got a
Look at the
decent
players
team,
at
right?
Wolves.
Look at the players at Wolves.
It's harder when you
some
look at
good players.
Burnley, but you look at the players at Wolves. And
I mean, Burnley, of course, not even in the Premier League this season.
Of
It's also
course they're not.
I was looking at the expected points table earlier and didn't realise that Chelsea are third in that.
Really?
And then Sunderland are third bottom.
Yeah,
Lots of variance in
Sunderland
there.
were very poor in this game defensively. Like
They were bad. Yeah.
For the 4th goal, I think that Igor Jesus got, and the Gibbs White one that was like a knockdown from Jesus. They just allowed so much space, and then there was a hospital pass from the goalkeeper, which really compounded their going 1-0 down as well. But
That was a bad old moment.
But I struggled to sympathise with Sunderland being 4-0 down at halftime, because in the 16-17 season, we were 4-0 down at halftime to David Moyes' Sunderland, who eventually went down anyway. And do you know what happened? I left at halftime.
Did you?
I was like, I'm not having this. I left at halftime. I went home and got dumped.
You got dumped.
Ooh.
After
Did you
that.
know? Did you
She
head
said
out?
it's because you're a plastic fan who left at halftime.
But when you went out to the football that day, did you have a sense that that's where you were headed as a relationship?
No, but when I said
Was it a complete surprise?
it shouldn't have been,
Right.
with hindsight.
Okay,
But when I said we are 4-0 down, so I'm leaving at halftime, I'll be home early.
She said that's good because
We need to
got some-
talk. Yeah. So, oh, great. Yeah. Anyway, so that's why.
Sorry about that, man.
That's fine.
That was a difficult day.
It
That's a bad day.
It was in 2017. It's fine.
Okay, but yeah.
Things that happen in the past are always fine. Now,
My life mantra: everything's an anecdote.
okay. Well, let's play points of badge. Oh, wait. Scottish football. Something, JJ, is afoot in Scotland. And it's been afoot for some time. You keep saying, well, you never know because they're going to play each other on the last day. But what am I referring? Because there was another big victory over the weekend, wasn't there?
Yeah, Motherwell beat Rangers.
That's the big one.
That is big because Rangers were looking at the ones who were going to done Hearts the title. Kind of, it's going to be.
I thought
someone.
that was Celtic. Was it Rangers?
Well,
that were
Celtic
gonna
are
do it?
now second,
Right.
but like a lot of people who've been observing it, because Rangers had the momentum until they lost to Motherwell with a really late goal. Motherwell went 2-0 up, Rangers came back, and then
Right.
a really late goal.
So Hearts are in first, 73 points. Celtic are second with 70
Yes,
points.
so they obviously everyone knows that the Scottish League splits into two after 33 games. So Hearts have to play all the ones in the top 6. including Celtic at Celtic Park on the last day of the season.
Right.
Uh,
They have a superior goal difference currently.
Yeah, but it's not a huge amount because Celtic could do any of those teams 4 or 5-0 if they turn up. But part of the problem is they haven't really turned up for most of the season. Inspected underlying numbers and stuff like that. Hearts have the best defensive record, but the third best expected goals. Celtic have massively underperformed on a couple of different things.
Yeah. When was the last time a team that wasn't Celtic or Rangers won?
That was 1985.
Oh my God, a really, really
when Sir
long
Alex
time
Ferguson
ago.
was the manager of Aberdeen Football Club.
Was that really the last time?
Yes.
Fergie's Aberdeen.
Yeah.
My God. So this would be, if this happened, Scotland's gonna break off from the UK and just drift into the North Sea.
Well, the thing I find interesting about it is that not everyone is desperate for Hearts to do it. It's really funny. Like,
Really?
Scottish football's
Why?
hard to explain to people.
This is the
unless you're
Arsenal
from
thing
there.
again, though, isn't it? It's like the evil ones that we're used to is
No,
okay.
It's
because everyone else would be jealous that it's not them doing the Hearts, right?
kind of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I won't go into to do with like
Religion.
No, it's not. Well,
I'm just joking.
That does come into it, actually. There's bits and pieces. But anyway, like, I mean, where I grew up, that's not really a thing. No one cares about that.
Just
But in other
oil.
parts,
Let's discuss
it's
it. Only
oil.
oil where you
Who
grew up.
has the most oil?
Yeah.
And Aberdeen has the most oil. Very
Why am I
slick.
so slippery? I
Yeah.
can't because I'm covered in oil.
I'm flying down the wing.
Yeah.
Because I'm propelling with
Yes. Oil.
oil. So anyway, like Hearts, everyone thinks they're going to maybe fall apart towards the end. And Derek McInnes is trying to keep them nice and calm going into it. But they
Right.
play Celtic on the last day of the season. They've got, 4 games left, I think, is it? Or is it 3? I can't remember. They've got,
I'll tell you now.
there's 4 games, I think. 'cause
The
they've got
match
to
is
play,
upcoming for Hearts. They've
Yeah.
got they're at home to Rangers next.
Yes, that's the big one. So if they beat Rangers, that could be enough to get them through.
That's next Monday.
They did have to come so they played against Hibs on the weekend. That's the actual big game on the weekend.
That was the big
because they
game.
beat Hibs in the Edinburgh Derby.
Yeah.
Did you see the goalkeeper get sent off for handling outside his box?
No.
Something I've been thinking about a lot over the last many years.
Oh really?
You know when goalkeepers kick the ball very far and they go right to the edge of their box?
Yes.
100% loads of them are outside their box with the ball.
You think so?
Yeah.
You
And
think
it
it's
never
just
gets
where
called.
it's where they've just let go as they as they cross over that line?
I think that happened.
I don't think you see. Maybe they still do this style of drop kick in the Scottish Premiership. I don't watch much of it. But I think in the Premier League you very rarely see the drop kick.
Do you
these
think so?
days. I think you see them roll the ball out
After a
onto the
corner,
ground.
you do.
Yeah, sure. If it's a quick counter attack
Sure.
and there's bodies around, but if there's few bodies around and people are up the pitch, they roll it onto the ground and then they kick it from the ground.
That's true.
Whereas
They
there-
do that in Scotland too.
Right. There are compilations of like 1980s goalkeepers
Yes.
just doing a straight up and down
Up and under,
volley drop
yes.
kick, and it's like the sort of ball that
I
I
loved
would
it.
I would cower away from headering in a real game. Because like,
You would be the Football League game on a Sunday afternoon on ITV, and there's so many highlights of like Mike Stowell from Wolves just like punting the ball as far as he can possibly kick it. It's brilliant.
Well, they also
Glory days.
they're at home they're away to Motherwell. They are at home to Falkirk, and then they're away at Celtic on the final day.
Yeah, Falkirk's much better than I'd imagine you think they are. It's just weird. Like, beating Hibs away is decent, but they had to grind down Hibs with 9 men. They had 9 men for a lot of that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2 red cards, and Hibs were 1-0 up as well.
Wow.
Yeah, so like it was
They really want it.
a big ask. Yeah, so they make it hard for themselves sometimes, but they're decent players. They're doing well.
Do you want them to win?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be nice to. I think it'd be nice for them to win that.
Yeah.
Just to break it up a little bit. But also, I prefer it if Team I Sported were doing it. But what are you going to do? I think it's nice to have a bit of change.
As discussed, they would like to win, but they can't because they're all covered in oil.
That's right.
Yeah. Now let's play Points Are Bad, and we'll return to Scotland in coming weeks to see what that looks like. You'll recall that our Points Are Bad predictions were for Burnley Man City, which was one of those midweek games, and then Arsenal Manchester United, which was one of those weekend games. JJ, you won the best this week.
Well, sometimes I turn up and try.
You predicted 3-0 to Man City, which was not true. It was only 1-0,
Oh,
1-0,
yes.
but that you added 2 there. And you got in with your 1-0 Arsenal prediction.
Yeah.
Perfect prediction. Congratulations. You share the spoils with the 1-1 bot. Ruben, you added 3. Were you here last week?
I'll take it.
Someone played as you?
I think I remember guessing these ones. Yeah, I
Maybe
was
you
here.
guessed
I
them.
was here.
Okay. And then John, you did okay. You middle of the pack because you were guessing for Seb was guessing for John.
I did it in a John McKenzie voice too.
You did.
Yeah.
And you can do the same again today, I think.
I will.
John keeps saying to me, He keeps saying to me in the middle of the week, like, I haven't even made a points per prediction for like about 17 weeks or something, you know. But I'm still going to hold his score against him come the end of the season. You added 4 for him.
Yeah.
And Kaya, who was being played by Steve, you added 5. And somehow I get... Oh, yes, it's because I said 5-0 Man City. I would like to point out that I think the XG in the game was like 3.9 or something. So spiritually...
There's only one stat that counts, Joe.
If we were playing X points or XG bad, I would be winning, I think. Alas, there we go. Okay, so that means that I am last, and so I can pick some fixtures that are coming up for us to predict for. Or I'll tell you what, Steve, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split it up between the one Champions League game, for which I'm going to pick... Is it Atletico...
It's in Madrid.
It's in Madrid, so it's Atletico Arsenal on Wednesday? Tuesday?
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
Okay, so let's do that one, and then let's do Man United Liverpool on Sunday.
Okie dokie. At Old Trafford.
At Old Trafford, that one, yeah. Okay, so as a starting point... Oh, Atletico Arsenal. Oh my God, that's exciting, isn't it? That's exciting. I think that might be 1-2 in favour of Arsenal. So 2-1 to Arsenal.
Yes, please.
And then for Manchester United Liverpool, I think that's got... Oh, I was going to say 1-1, but the 1-1 but 1-0 Man United. Okay. Next up, we go to... Oh, you, Steve, is playing as Kaya.
Okay, so I think this is going to be Simeone versus Arteta away.
That is what it's going to be.
Scoring.
Yeah.
I think it might even be 0-0.
Okay.
Man
Steve doesn't know that
doesn't know that
Simeone's all
Atletico's
changed completely.
Yeah,
Do you not know that, Steve?
Oh, no, I remember. I literally produced that episode, so I should have
They
remembered that,
score
shouldn't
loads
I?
of goals now.
But I've said it now, so
Okay,
it's
you've
there.
said it. 0.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kaya. Man United, Liverpool, I think United will win that. 2-1.
Okay. Next, we go to Seb as John.
Oh, well, Joe.
I love it. I like it. Yeah.
I'm going to go 3-1 Atletico.
Do you know, I thought about doing that. Yeah.
I like them there at home, definitely.
Okay.
And 2-0 Manchester United.
Yep. Okay, fine. Reuben?
Can I have 1-0 to Atletico Madrid?
Yeah.
And 1-0 to Manchester United?
Okay.
Joe has said
interesting.
1-0 to Man United.
Oh, I
Has he?
said that already, yeah.
Is 2... What did you just guess?
2-0.
Can I have 2-1 to
2-1's taken
United?
as
You
well.
cannot.
Can I have 3-2 to Manchester United?
Yes, you can. You can. Interesting that we've all gone for Man United to win, but we've split so far, half and half, Atletico Arsenal. It's very rare that we have a 50-50 split on the first 4 guesses of the winner. JJ, where are you going to take us? Atletico Arsenal.
I'm going to get both of these bang on,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to look back next week and be like, do you have a time machine?
Right.
Because it's going to be 1-0 Arsenal from a corner.
Okay. Is that not taken?
No,
Okay, perfect.
I could tell you that because I went to the future to check it.
Great.
It's there. And it's going to be 4-all Man United Liverpool. It's going to be a mad game.
I hope so. I'm watching that one in the office.
It's going to be all silliness.
Fingers
4-all.
crossed.
JJ
Fingers
couldn't
crossed.
stand having a perfectly really good points a bad week, so he's just massively overcompensated.
As I've already said,
I've
I
been to the
have got them
future.
both perfectly correct because I've
Perfectly.
already seen them.
Bang on.
Who scores the goals?
No. We've got to end now. We've been recording for far too long. JJ Ball, thank you.
Yes.
Sebastian Stafford-Bloor, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Also, Seb as John, thank you.
Oh, well, thank you, John.
It's like he said his own name. He said his own name. Thank you, John. Reuben Pinder, thanks.
Thank you very much.
And Steve Hankey was also here.
You're most welcome.
There we go. We will be back on Thursday PM, Thursday evening UK time,
GMT.
with John and
BST.
Colin Miller and Kaya, I think, isn't it?
Indeed.
Yeah, there we go. Exciting. And there is a Sunday live stream this week, but it's going to be a little later because I think there's a 7 p.m. Aston Villa Spurs game.
Yeah.
So we'll be live about 9 p.m. UK time on Sunday as well. Plus Ring for Analysis this week, so look forward to that. Anyway, ta-ra for now. Bye.